I met this woman who lives in Big Sky, Montana. She sold like 50 homes last year, and her total volume was like 350 million, bro. But that was somebody with a personal brand where people wanted to work with her because she was good. Comes out to $10 million in fees from selling 50, 60 houses, bro. If we bring in 200 grand a year off that, that's dope. I've been posting 5 times a day minimum on every platform. What makes you stand out? Is it that you can also show a house and show somebody where the damn bathroom is?
What's up, Amazing Marketing Show listeners? We're glad to have you back. And today we're talking making money with real estate. And here's the thing about real estate. Most people in real estate, they don't actually make any money. Now, some people make money, but very little. Now, we have a guest that actually makes real money in real estate, and they don't just do it by selling houses. So stick around and find out all the ways that this guest is making money. I'm going to introduce him in just a second, but first I want to introduce my co-host, Chris Gray. Chris, what's going on?
Dimitri, what up?
I am living the dream and excited to talk about real estate, but more so excited to talk about making money. And maybe we'll even throw in some stories about feds and substances and maybe some funny stuff like that we'll get into. But our guest today, Suneet Agrawal. Suneet, tell us about you and what you do.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on, guys. My name is Suneet Agrawal. I have a real estate business in Northern California. I've been in the game about 12 years. And in those 12 years, my team was the number one team in the entire state by a lot. And I spun that into multiple other businesses, coaching business, consulting business, other ancillaries. And I love talking about making money with my friends. So let's do it.
Suneet, yo, what do most people get wrong when it comes to trying to make money in the real estate game?
They come in and think it's going to be simple, right? Like, even if it's on the investing side, someone goes to a free course at the Red Lion Inn where they serve a boxed lunch, and they told them that they're going to make millions off real estate investing. And then these people go out and get cracked, right? So, and the same thing with it. Maybe, these real estate professionals, agents, brokers, they watch some shit on TV, some Selling Sunset, and I think it's going to be all white Beamers and, two martini lunches and bottles of champagne at all your closings. You're going to be doing all this. And ladies and gentlemen, that's dramatized. That is not real, right? Like, I think in any industry, you have the Pareto principle, 80-20 at least, right? I think in real estate, look, there's some stat like 88% of realtors don't make it past their first 5 years or 2 years. I think it's 2 years. I don't know the stat that well anymore, obviously, but there's some big, huge percentage don't even make it past a couple of years. People are buying into dreams and fantasies and not knowing about it's a damn hustle.
Well, you figured out a way to make it in this dark and dirty world of real estate, the hustle game. You've been able to overcome it. So what's the secret?
So when I got in as a realtor, I was like late 30s, had just lost my ass. I didn't have internet at my house because I didn't have any money. My mom paid my rent. I had just lost a bunch of weight. I didn't even have clothes that freaking fit, yo. I remember my mom driving me up my 3rd week as a realtor when she knew I was going to stick around, taking me to the rack at Macy's, right? And buying me like 3 blazers for like $70 and like 5 dress shirts and 2 pairs of slacks, right? So I didn't even have clothes that fit or the internet. I remember sitting in the Starbucks parking lot trying to poach some friggin' internet so I could look up a listing, right? Like, it was straight starting ground floor hustle level. And for me, it was either I had to work my ass off and make it work, or I wasn't going to be able to eat. I had no more backup plans, right? This was the last backup plan. And through that process of working my ass off, outworking everybody, being first somewhere, the last to leave, right? First to get there, last to leave. I went to the office every single day. Let me tell you something about realtors. They don't go to the office. I went every day. I didn't even know what the hell I was supposed to do, right? Because I was at an old school office. But then I remembered about these fancy things called leads and went down that path and was able to figure it out.
Speaking of figuring it out, I've talked before, Suneet, about the importance of getting in rooms with people who are doing stuff because it opens your mind up. And I've told you this story before, but I'll tell it on the podcast. When I first got to one of my first rooms, it was the very first Driven. That's where I met you at. And I remember you having a conversation with somebody casually, and you had just launched that AI certification for real estate agents. This is like 2 years ago or something. And Suneet's like, yeah, we did 200,000. We just launched it last week. It was so like, it wasn't even like trying to boast. It was just like a casual conversation. And I remember like my eyes were like, what the fuck? Like, what? You know what I mean? And that was an eye opener for me. I'll always remember that moment. But I say all that to say this: you found these different ways to make money in this industry. And so tell us about the other ways that you've capitalized in the real estate business without even having to sell a house.
Two things that I want to say to that is, number one, I am a product of the rooms that I've got in, dominated, and graduated out of, right? Like, I remember my first real estate conference that I ever went to, and I heard this woman agent who was here local in my office, and she said something on stage. It was like the second speaker I ever saw at a real estate thing, right? Like I was super green. It was the day of the election when Donald Trump and Hillary. It was that day. So that tells you about the recency or however long ago it was. And she said, if anything I can do, you can do. And it stuck with me. So I went back and I started my first real estate team, started hiring agents, right? And I've kept on going to different rooms to get more exposure. Driven's a great place because it's such a crossbreed of mixture of different kinds of industries and lots of focus around, traffic and sales and marketing, which I love. The one-dimensional way for a real estate professional, call it a real estate agent, to make money is sell houses, like you said, right? I think the second natural way is to bring agents on to help you sell more houses. That's some sales, that's some marketing, that's some knowing your shit, right? When I started doing that, is because my coach at the time told me to, and I was honestly tired of my lady was like 6 months pregnant, and I was out hustling. Yeah, I was fucking out there, right? I was like, well, I'm about to be a dad. I want to try and be home too. So I started hiring agents in the most sloppy way, right? I heard teams were cool, and I'd owned different businesses, in the cannabis industry. So I said, I'm just going to start hiring agents, and I did. Right. So that's the first way. Now I'm making money off the agents that work for me. But I'm doing that as a trade for value, something that I had, whether it be my systems or my leads at the time, my knowledge at the time, my mentorship at the time. And then I really rode that as a great business model. So that's rule number one. That's one way for a real estate professional to make additional money outside buying and selling houses. Then think about all the additional services that have to be utilized when somebody does a real estate transaction. Someone needs to get a mortgage, right? Someone needs to get insurance. Someone needs to move. Someone could need a cleaner, right? Someone's going to need an inspection. They're going to need insurance. I don't know if I already said that or not. They're going to need all this stuff. There's all these opportunities, these ancillary opportunities. Now, I hope that every realtor knows that you can get marketing service agreements with these companies is totally legal, right? Where there's maybe it's an affiliate type of commission. You recommend my business and I'll help you spend money on leads. You recommend my business and I'll pay for your half of your lead program. There's some guidelines in there. But my first couple weeks as an agent, and I wanted leads, I called one of my boys who's a mortgage loan officer, and he helped me pay for half of them. That was my first sale, was getting someone to help me with my marketing, right? So as I progressed, now I own a mortgage company, right? Property management, all these different things that within the same transaction, I'm creating multipliers of how to increase my income. Okay. So for any real estate agent listening, if you aren't doing this, you need to fix that. Talk to your favorite loan officer and go in on a lead source. Talk to any vendor who comes by your office, because there's a big pile of different vendors who are trying to get in the office, in any real estate office, and they got their freaking cards on the table. Go grab the cards and start asking them to help you with their marketing. See what kind of JV, see what kind of different opportunities, joint venture, or like an affiliate or a marketing service agreement you can get, right? At this point, we get good amount of money every month straight to the damn bottom line for marketing service agreements with vendors who want access to my business and my agent's business. Okay, so easy way. If we bring in 200 grand a year off that, that's dope, right? That is far these companies' traffic of being able to advertise in my Facebook group or by leaving their stuff on the table. Right. And many businesses want that list. It's more traffic. It's better traffic almost. Now, are you going to create a brand, a personal brand? Are you going to monetize off that? Right. When I did, right. I made a personal brand and I monetized the hell out of it. Still do every day. And that's because I became known on social media by being consistent and loud. I've been posting 5 times a day minimum on every platform for longer than I can remember.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, Suneet, because I think people hear about, oh, you got to post on the platforms. It's like, okay, well, I'm posting and now what? And no one's talking to me. How does it work? How do the people who are successful, why does it work for them?
Dude, reps, bro. Reps, duration, delayed gratification. Like, you remember, like, my first year as a realtor, I was like maybe 37, 38. I was the youngest dude in that office, right? I was the youngest dude in my office. Ain't nobody was talking about posting in that office. They didn't even have the, Facebook, right? And what was I doing? When I was out working out, I was listening to Gary Vee, dog, right? And Gary Vee was talking about posting on social media. And I'm listening to this, and I said, yo, whoever this dude is, let me buy his book. I better start posting on social media. And it multiplied. First, I worked in my real estate business. Then when I started posting a lot more and working on my personal brand, that was to recruit more agents locally. And you know what happened then is I posted so much that it turned into a coaching business because I got national. So for people posting, sure, there's strategy involved. Sure, I test everything. Sure, I have a lot of posts that get absolutely zero traction, zero love. I get those all the time. I lose followers. I get all the stuff, right? And it can feel shitty, but not as shitty as being broke. So I'm going to keep on posting.
Did you guys hear? You guys seeing Gary Vee's content nowadays? Like the ultimate Zen master. It's pretty funny how things have changed.
So good, bro. I've been watching it again.
Yeah, well, now he's like, chill out, live within your means, maybe don't work as much. But you got him right when he was telling you, like, go out and just never stop.
He's still saying post a lot.
Okay.
Right? He's still saying post a lot. He's talking about, I feel like he's talking about posting just regular posts more now than ever. So that's just what I did, right? Is there some methodology? I guess. What, log into whatever AI tool and ask it to write a post and copy and paste? I don't know.
Suneet, you were talking earlier about losing your ass. So tell us, how did you lose said ass?
Yeah, so, it's actually happened a couple times. The first time, right out of college, I got into the mortgage industry like a lot of people did. We all know a bunch of people, and this was before the big meltdown, and I bought a bunch of houses and was made all kinds of money and got cracked by the mortgage industry, right? So then I got into the cannabis business when George Bush was president. Well, when the son was president, George W., I think, yeah. And really was one of the first dispensaries here locally in Northern California. We lobbied cities. We got ordinances passed. We had a lot of notoriety. Chris, I was the same dude I am right now in real estate, but just in cannabis like 10 years ago, right? Just like 12 years ago, in the news all the time, doing loud marketing, right? Like people weren't taking photos of their bud and putting it on the internet. We did, right? And people really liked it. You could still see old school pictures of that. We had billboards and shit when no one would even think about that, right? And even with the legal licensing that we had, both on a local level that we helped write the ordinance as far, and a state level, California, which was kind of, this was still 2012. In Obama's reelection campaign, they wanted to appear tough on crime to try and get more votes. And they started doing forfeiture actions against the landlords of cannabis businesses. And they served some search warrants locally because it's the federal government. Like they still can. They don't need, the federal law hasn't changed. And the first two people that they served search warrants on, they were pretty unscrupulous business owners with, maybe automatic guns and piles of cash and stuff like that. And when they came after me, we were involved in some legal action against the government locally and federally to try and protect ourselves. And we had filed some restraining orders trying to buy us time and fight the system. And just raided on a search warrant, which involves, U.S. Marshals and them having the automatic guns. And they took my shit, right? So, we never had any charges pressed. I was clean. I did everything by the book. I wrote the ordinance. But it definitely, when you go from having a bunch of money in the account and a business, and then all of a sudden you have zero because they just wipe your account out too, it leaves you in an interesting position. Right. So, it's funny. All I had a bunch of dogs at the time. I was breeding dogs, kind of hobby dog breeding. And that's all I had, me and the dogs. The feds took everything else. Yeah.
Sounds like a country song.
I think it was at that point. Yeah. I moved out to the country with the dogs. Yeah. Funny. But yeah, so, like humbling experiences, we're so fortunate to have them. And the first experience kicked my ass due to my irresponsibility as far as mortgage and not planning and being frivolous with my spending. I was a, young 20s, early 30s, making $600,000-700,000 a year. I was balling. And then when my ass got cracked in the cannabis industry, well, that was out of my control. However, it made me think about some of the decisions I was making. Right. Landed back in real estate because I was out of option.
Well, hopefully that doesn't happen in the real estate business, but some landlords are complaining that real estate isn't cash flowing as well, or the federal government can make a rule that tenants don't have to pay rent for a while like they did during COVID. And I mean, is real estate still a good business to be in?
I mean, so I still have a real estate business and it fluctuates. But I've pivoted into different information businesses that will always have a market. So that's, next part of the story, right? Is the good realtors always make money. Realtors have a low barrier to entry. You guys know that, right? Like, in some states, this is really like, I heard in like North Carolina, you can mail it in. I don't know if it's true, but you can get a license by mailing it in and like a couple $100 check. So when there's big numbers due to, shifts in houses being sold, that's what we can expect.
Now, this is kind of funny about real estate agents. Now, tell me if this is offensive or not, but my understanding of a real estate agent, for the most part, is like they take you to a house and then they're like, this is the bathroom. This is the living room. I mean, okay, this is Amazing Marketing Show. We're talking about marketing. We love amazing marketing stories. What is that? What is the amazing marketing thing that separates the agent that just goes around showing the different rooms of the house? And you mentioned, they have these other offers and JVs that they're working with, but like, how do you really get your name? And this doesn't just apply to real estate, but how does someone really get, you mentioned social media, but if you had to Pareto principle it, like give us the number one thing.
when all you do is depend on like so many realtors logo are their sign that they choose as their fucking face, right? Like you guys see that. Yo, you've never seen my face on anything, bro, except for a billboard. Right? But why? Like, so by the look of people's faces, you expect them to hire you. That's what you do when you're like putting out your face out there. That feels like commoditized, right? Like, oh, well, here's a hot chick. I'm just going to call her to show me some houses, right? Right? So, or this guy looks like he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, look at his stash. He must be smart, right? But what about your USP and leaning on that, right? So what I've experienced and observed is that, what makes you stand out? Is it that you can also show a house and show somebody where the damn bathroom is? Or is it because you have some kind of like, we have some USPs that I think are the best. Unique sales proposition is if you buy a house with us, love it or list it. And if you're a realtor listening to this, write that down. I'll say it again. Love it or list it. And that's risk reversal, baby. If for some reason you have to move in 18 months, we'll sell your house without charging you a listing fee. So something like inserting that into your buyer presentation when you're meeting somebody at a house and not showing them the bathroom, but talking about what makes your business special. And not only that, finding out the true things that they need. Like, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what are you looking for in a real estate agent? How are you going to determine who you hire to work with in your next real estate transaction? How can I exceed those expectations? How can I earn your business? How can I prove to you that I'm worthy of, of representing you in this transaction? If you're not asking that, if you're just like depending on wearing a polo shirt, being on time, and having a haircut in your white Beamer, like I'm going to come in and smoke you, bro. Yeah. So USP.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Puns intended too. Yes. Right. But there's USPs in anything. Like what makes your business stand out? You better have something, or you're just going to be another dude in the friggin' Zillow that someone's going to call and click. Oh, like, social proof. Are you marketing your testimonials? Do you get reviews? People call me from Google, from ChatGPT all day. Because when you ask those places who the top realtor in Sacramento is, who do you think shows up? Right? Because we are really serious about advertising the testimonials, getting the reviews. We talk about Google stuff all the time, right? Like you got to do the Google My Business. You got to show up right. And then when someone comes in, don't just be like everyone else. Have a USP. Have a presentation. Ask for the business, damn it.
Suneet, we were talking earlier, Dimitri and I, about Google starting to make it easier to access AI mode. Like right now, if I went to the search and I hit tab and enter, it'll take me right into AI mode, or I can click a little lens and it'll just pop me right into AI mode. I think that's going to be, AI mode is probably going to be the default at some point.
Oh, yeah. On Google, 100% it will be. I've been doing all of my search in ChatGPT now.
So then how are you changing your internet presence, knowing that AEO's where things are going? Keywords won't be the thing anymore. It'll be intent.
My phone's ringing from ChatGPT right now.
How you doing?
I mean, look, going back a little bit, I have a ton of content. I have a bunch of testimonials. My SEO is really damn good too, right? We're redoing all our schema markup because Casa won't shut the hell up about it. I still don't know what it means, but we're redoing all the schema markup to make sure it's whatever it needs to friggin' be.
Sounds smart, schema.
Yeah, sounds smart, right? I just told one of my people to work on it. Hey, watch this podcast and do the schema markup. We've been doing the content game, the repurposing, the omnipresent, the multi-channel, everything for so long that it still works. Like I show up top. And when someone calls, they get a unique sales proposition, not, oh yeah, I'm a realtor too, right? Like you got to stand out. Because otherwise you just wash in the like sea of the same shit, man. You got to stand out.
So, okay, someone's in real estate. They can make money by standing out, having you a USP, selling houses. But we were talking about the courses, the partnerships, all of that stuff. Presumably, that's where the real money is. Is that correct?
I mean, my best years ever in my life is the years that I sold, thousands and thousands of homes. Let me say that. So depending on what scale, you can talk about what's real money, right? However, like information products is great, and I love them. It's like my favorite thing, right? Like I love coaching and consulting and selling stuff on the internet. I just love it. When you're good and you got the results, people listen, right? So I was fortunate, or maybe I was good. There was maybe some fortune in there, but maybe not. Maybe there was some skill and will in there. The fortune is that success created more attention and allowed me to monetize more off that, right? So you have some idea in your brain and you're scared to put it out there, put it out there, right? Like, dude, that AI course is crazy. Like we'd all been using Jarvis for however long, right? Like a year and a half. Jarvis sent me an affiliate check like last month. It was great. I was like, whoa, people are still paying. I was stoked. Yeah. So we had been using Jarvis, and I was on a call with one of my business partners in my consulting business. He's like, hey, have you heard about ChatGPT yet? And I was all, no, what is it? So I went, oh, this is cool. I'm all, I wonder if it'll make a course that if I ask it to take. So I said, ChatGPT, make a course on ChatGPT. And of course, it took a little bit of work. It was the first version. I was like, dude, I wonder if we could sell this. Hey, ChatGPT, do all the marketing. And it did. Now, of course, at the time, I had my successes as a real estate team leader. I had a lot of notoriety and authority from content and being a coach and being a speaker. But it was something that the old me would have had fear in putting out because of judgment, right? But bro, that course came out the month after Chat GPT dropped, right? It went great, and we did it again, and it went great again, right? So I think if you have ideas in your head, don't let the bullshit like stop you from implementing them, right? Especially with AI, because since then I've launched multiple big businesses, that do a lot of money every year on stuff I built inside of AI. I just launched my recruiting service, and I built the whole business in a Chat GPT project, right? And it's going to do $1 million its first year. I'm super happy.
So, let's go back, or let's say that you had to, for whatever reason, you're starting over today as a fresh new real estate agent, right? Or somebody out there who hasn't really they haven't really, put their footprint in the game yet. They're just basically new. What are some of the first things you're doing as a brand new real estate agent to start drumming up business?
Yo, I'm hitting everybody in my phone and everybody on my friends list in Facebook.
Yeah, what are friends for anyway?
Yeah, I am hitting everybody up. I'm going to hit everybody I've ever sent an email to. That's the easiest way. Don't make it like, just do that, right? Reach out to, if you're a brand new realtor, you don't got shit to do, right? Sit out there and send those messages, right? Send the messages. You know when you should stop? When you're too busy with friggin' business. You're a brand new realtor. Go do an open house every day. Someone in your brokerage has a listing. While you're sitting at the open house, send out the damn messages. So then you're getting twice as many opportunities. You're doubling up on the modality of how you're getting business, right? Someone could walk in, someone could answer a text, someone could answer a call, someone could answer an email, right? I would just hammer that. And before you know it, like I did 3 open houses every weekend until I was just too busy with showings to do open houses every weekend. That's really it. Like post on social media? Sure. But also, maybe while you're out there at the open house, post on social media, right? But I think you have to, and that's a different type of modality also, right? How many different kinds of the modalities can you work there to generate leads without spending money? There's 3.
Yeah, those are 3 good ones. I bet you a lot of people listening are thinking, okay, it worked for Suneet and he's been successful and he's so talented and he's so good looking, but
They wouldn't be wrong. Yeah.
And I want to talk about mindset a little bit because it seems like the only difference between a successful agent or someone in marketing or anyone in business it comes down to mindset in a lot of ways. So what's your take on mindset?
Mindset is super important to me. And I spend a lot of time trying to lock that in, right? I have a morning routine where I go through my goals, my gratitudes. I do my personal like mantras that I get from books or whatnot. And I really focus in on that when I first wake up. So I really spend time focusing on that in the morning to get my day right, get me locked in. Then even in the evening, I try and read something positive or worth it, maybe not positive, but something worth it. And then I'll listen to some manifestation shit while I'm sleeping, right? Like I'm looking for every way to get an edge on mindset and on everybody else. So self-development, mindset, it's been my go-to.
All right, Suneet, well, let's get deep then. If we're talking about mindset here, let's talk about the past, the present, and the future. I mean, what does Suneet look when he looks into the future? What does he see?
Man, I see a lot of good stuff. I see more opportunities and growth and more fun, right? I work my ass off every day and everything is right around the corner. Everything I want is right around the corner. Maybe not the private jet, but maybe the Lambo. I don't want a Lambo anymore.
You can put that on the billboard, right?
Yeah.
That's the USP. We got our agents ride in Lambos.
I'm past that Lambo phase of my life. Who knows? It might come back.
We were talking about mindset a while ago, Suneet. My question to you was, you've been around winners, you've been around losers. What, and we don't have a ton of time, but what is the biggest difference in your opinion in the winner's mindset versus the loser's mindset?
I don't think the losers even think about their mindset. Right? Winners are upset or spend some time like me obsessing over it. Like, leaning on like stoic philosophies or whatever you're into, right? Maybe it's your Tony Robbins stuff around mindset, but having that thing to lean into and carry with you, right? Instead of just this victim bullshit. Like, bro, I'm not a victim of nothing, right? And also, like, even when my raid happened, yeah, that sucked, but I'm accountable for what happened, right? Like, yeah, it sucked. Yeah, I mean, maybe not the most fair thing the way the industry is. I would like to, if the government's listening, send me back some of my money, right? You let all these other dudes drive around with all of it, right? But it's that big accountability and just thinking about it, dude. And I think that the losers play the victims and have no accountability for their actions. Like, dude, if I want something, I'm going to figure out how to go out and get it. Or I'm going to work my ass off until I get closer to getting it. I'm not going to bitch and moan that I don't have it.
Well, it's a lot easier to bitch and moan and check out what's new on Netflix.
Yeah.
Get to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sit down with a pint of ice cream, maybe eat a second pint while you're at it.
Sounds delicious.
Cookies and cream.
It is Friday. I might have some ice cream later.
Even top performers can have ice cream. It's okay.
Yes.
Okay, look.
I know you think that. I've seen you eat plenty of ice cream. Yeah.
I love my ice cream. I love it. I love it. Especially at a restaurant when they bring it out in these giant, cool ice cream containers with lots of toppings, and it's super fun. And everyone's jealous because they didn't have the guts to order the ice cream for 4 for themselves. Yeah. All right. Well, Suneet, I want to wrap with this. I've come to be known, I think, at least I describe myself this way, as the numbers guy. and I want to talk numbers. So let's say from somebody who's just Gary Vee style hustling, just getting into it, to the top of their game like you are, like what type of income levels or revenue levels can somebody realistically expect and decide, okay, and let's say odds of it working out too, so they can make an educated decision, is this what they want to pursue or not?
So you asking me for averages or the expectation is sky's the limit. You could get into big commercial deals, big real estate trust deals, become a luxury realtor. I was at this event and I met this woman who lives in Big Sky, Montana. She sold like 50 homes last year and her total volume was like 350 million, bro. Like, if you guys don't get that, she got fucking paid, right? Like, she got paid for selling not a lot of houses. Sure, I'm sure it was hard work. I'm sure it took years and years to.
Well, there are a lot of bathrooms in those houses, to be fair. So,
to be fair, right? But that was somebody with a personal brand where people wanted to work with her because she was good, right?
Yeah, that comes out to like probably $10 million in fees.
Comes out to $10 million in fees from selling 50, 60 houses, bro. We sell 50, 60 a month, right? And there were some years where, depending on the market, $10 million is a pretty good year, right? I have other friends who run these companies who make $30, $40 million a year, right? And they're really happy too. I know lots of realtors who make more money driving Uber, right? Are collecting a check from the government, right? So,
after they took all of Suneet's money, the government's got enough to go around at this point.
So, but that's so funny. But that's the thing with real estate, with any business. Like, how hard are you willing to push? Better question: what are you willing to sacrifice? Right? There's been, when a lot of this negative shit happened to me, I was a single guy with no kids, so I could grind. Like, it's scary to even think about it. I would figure it out. It's troubling to think about it. Scary is the wrong word. It's troubling to think what would happen if I had a wife and kids at the time. Like, where my life could have turned when I didn't have that freedom of being a bachelor. We could said, well, I'll fucking eat ramen 2 meals a day and go out there and hustle real estate.
I think we're good, man. Suneet's become one of my homeboys at our masterminds. It's a solid dude to talk to, period. I'm happy to have you on this show, bro. It was dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on too, Suneet. It's a lot of fun to chat back and forth, joke around, and we hope to see you soon. And everyone listening to this, do subscribe to that newsletter. Get the notes from this show and every show that we have. It's going to go right into your inbox. Leave our comments, like the YouTube, support us. Come on, do your thing, guys. All right, that's it for us.
You can want to buy a house anywhere. Just go to SuneetAgrawal.com. I'm sure these guys will leave it in the comments. And my Instagram, Suneet_Agrawal. I'll see you out there.
Yeah, pretty solid USP too. I started thinking, damn, that was good. So check out Suneet's.
That's not even the best one. That's not.
Oh yeah, well, give us why are you leaving the best one out?
We can leave the next one for people who go over to my social media.
All right,
you can just hit me up on Instagram.
Well, I love that. Okay, good. So check out Suneet's socials. We're going to have the links right below this, and sounds like it's going to be good because man, that was already a good one. Anyway, not to drone on. All right, guys, peace.
Later.
Peace.